rise and remain standing to welcome the faculty of Allegany College of Maryland. Please welcome the college vice presidents. Please welcome the chairs of the college constituent groups and Student Government Association. Please welcome representatives from other institutions of higher education. Dr. Randall Rhodes, Associate Provost, Frostburg State University. Dr. Leonard Colelli, Campus Provost, CEO, Potomac State College of West Virginia University. Dr. Guy Altieri, President, Hagerstown Community College. Dr. Richard McLennan, President, Garrett College. Dr. Kathleen Hetherington, President, Howard Community College. Dr. Karen Bucher, Dean of Students, Lord Fairfax Community College. Dr. Thomas Seifer, Southern Tier Chair. Please welcome the stage party. Dr. Audie Klingler, Allegany College of Maryland Foundation Board of Directors, President. Mr. Jim Ortiz, Allegany College of Maryland Board of Trustees. Mr. John McMullen Jr., Allegany College of Maryland Board of Trustees. Ms. Joyce Lapp, Allegany College of Maryland Board of Trustees. Dr. V. Raul Felipa, Allegany College of Maryland Board of Trustees. Mr. Thomas Bambara, son of Dr. Bambara, Mr. Timothy Bambara, son of Dr. Bambara. Dr. Bernard Sadusky, Maryland Association of Community Colleges Executive Director. Ms. Mary Beth Perilozzi, City of Cumberland Councilwoman. Mr. Michael McKay, Allegany College Commissioners President. Senator George Edwards, Maryland Legislature District 1. Reverend Dr. Kenton Stone, Interim Minister, United Church of Christ, Associate Professor of Spanish and Philosophy. Dr. Susan Short, Associate Vice President for Engagement, Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. Dr. Cynthia Bambara, Allegany College of Maryland President. Dr. Kim Leonard, Allegany College of Maryland Board of Trustees Chair.
Please remain standing as we pray. Eternal and ever-loving God, we ask a blessing upon all who are gathered here today to honor the president of our college. We thank you for our college's heritage. We're grateful for its growth to this day. We lift hopeful hearts to you for its future. O great Creator, we realize the leadership of our college is a sacred trust. Many decisions rest upon our president. Many look to her for guidance. We pray that you may grant to the leader of our college understanding, strength, and courage. In days of stress, in hours of decision, please make clear to our president the path of honor, peace, and truth. May wisdom and compassion be the stability of this administration. In gathering today, in thanksgiving and hope, we commit ourselves with our president anew to the future of our college, to its service to our students, to our community, and to our world. Amen. Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem.
While they're filing out, would you please be seated? Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Kim Leonard, and I chair the Board of Trustees for Allegany College of Maryland. On behalf of the trustees, I welcome each and every one of you to the inauguration ceremony for Dr. Cynthia Bambara as president of Allegany College of Maryland. My thanks to the ACM Student Choir for its moving rendition of our national anthem. It was great. Thank you. We're gathered here today as members of the Allegany College community and the Allegany College of Maryland Foundations, representatives of our local and state governing bodies, colleagues from other colleges and educational institutions, and members of our community at large to formally invest Dr. Bambara with the authority and responsibilities of the presidency of Allegany College of Maryland. At the beginning of her presidency, Dr. Bambara led the college in a successful 50th anniversary celebration that involved the community in a year-long series of events. Now we take a great pleasure in a ceremony that officially inaugurates her term as president and leading ACM in the second half of the century in service of Allegany County, the states of Maryland, Pennsylvania, and surrounding regions. It is, and it sounds like a big job, doesn't it? At this time, I'd like to take a moment to recognize other members of the President's Party. And as I introduce you, would you please stand and then just be seated? The college vice presidents, sitting to my left. Mrs. Linda Price, Vice President of Advancement and Enrollment Management. Linda, there you are. Dr. Jim Snyder, Vice President of Pennsylvania Campuses. And Dr. Snyder, good luck on your retirement. We will miss you dearly. Mrs. Mona Kleitz, Vice President of Administration Services. Dr. Renee Connor, Vice President of Student and Legal Affairs. Dr. Barbara Beebe, Vice President of Continuing Education. Mrs. Fran Leefried, Interim Vice President of Instructional Affairs. Mr. David DeWitt, Vice President of Finance and Human Resources. Chairs of the college constituent groups. Again, would you please stand and then be seated as I call your name. Dr. Bill Rocks, Chair, Faculty Senate. Mr. Nick Taylor, Chair, Professional Support Staff. Mrs. Brenda Matthews, Chair, Assistant Support Staff. And Stan Navalony, President, Student Government Association. And our readers, Dr. Ronald Jenkins, Associate Professor of English, and Mr. Chris Ulrey, Summer 2012 graduate of ACM. Let's give this group a rounding round of applause. I'd also like to mention, and certainly last but hardly least, introduce the members of Dr. Bambara's family. Michael Bambara, husband, right here. Mrs. Jerry Mazer, mother. Kay and Charlie Shervanik. Kyle and Carly, sister, brother-in-law, nephew, and niece. There they are. And Jean and Charles Kaler, family friends. There they are. Dr. Bambara, there are many great things about Allegany College of Maryland. Our participatory government structure, our dedicated faculty and staff, our signature academic and career programs, and of course, and certainly not least, our very, very, very important students. We know you will embrace them. We actually had in my notes here, it said, we hope you will embrace them, and I changed that word from hope to know. At the same time, there are things to be done so that we can be better than we are today. We trust that you will lead us in those efforts. We, the trustees, hope that you will find happiness here with challenges and rewards in good measures, and that we will enjoy a long and mutually satisfactory and satisfying relationship. Dr. Bambara, there are several others on stage who would like to bring you greetings and on behalf of their constituents. First, Senator George Edwards, on behalf of the state of Maryland, would you please come forward? You okay with me doing that? Okay.
Thank you very much, Kim. I hope my voice holds out here. Dr. Bambara, it's my privilege and a pleasure and an honor to welcome you to Allegany College of Maryland as the 5th president. We know that you'll do a great job. Allegany College of Maryland is at the forefront, has done a tremendous job for the people of this area. And as education demands increase in the future, community colleges take on a much bigger role than they have in the past. And we know that you will be capable of moving us in that direction. So on behalf of the state of Maryland, welcome, and especially on behalf of the District 1 delegation, which is myself, Delegate Beitzel, wave or stand up, Delegate Myers, and if Delegate Kelly's here, we all welcome you because we will be working very closely with you on trying to move things forward here. So it's my pleasure to present to you from the state of Maryland, the governor of the state of Maryland, to Dr. Cynthia Bambara. Greetings. Be it known that on behalf of the citizens of this state, in recognition of a special tribute to commend you on the occasion of your inauguration as the president of Allegany College of Maryland, in honor of your demonstrated leadership and distinguished achievements in the field of higher education, and as the people of Maryland join in expressing our congratulations and sincere best wishes, we are pleased to confer upon you this governor's citation, given under the hand and the great seal of the state of Maryland this 14th day of September 2012, signed by Governor O'Malley, Lieutenant Governor Brown, and the Secretary of State. Also have a Senate of Maryland resolution. Be it hereby known to all that the Senate of Maryland offers its sincerest congratulations to Cynthia S. Bambara, PhD, in recognition of the occasion of your inauguration as president of Allegany College of Maryland and for your lifelong commitment to education. Congratulations. The entire membership extends best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution to be presented on this 14th day of September 2012. Signed by President of the Senate Mike Miller and myself as sponsor of the resolution. Again, congratulations, welcome, best of luck, and we'll all be ready to work with you to make things happen here. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. County Commissioner Mike McKay.
Dr. Bambara, Chairman, Board, distinguished guests, friends and family, but more especially the students of ACM. I bring warm greetings from the Board of County Commissioners. Commissioner Creed Brody and Commissioner Bill Valentine could not be here today because they had previous engagements. One is meeting with the Lieutenant Governor about Allegany County resources, and the other one is working on the Marcellus Shale Commission, also on Allegany County resources. On behalf of Commissioner Bill Valentine, who actually was part of the first graduating class of AC at that time, we bring warm greetings and thank you for your commitment to our community. I had earlier spoke at a 9/11 ceremony at the county building, and I brought up in the Bible Amos 7:7. It says, "Amos, what seest thou?" And I said, "A plumb line." Dr. Bambara, as we work as a plumb line towards the mission and goals of Allegany College of Maryland, which I trust you will do, There is no doubt about it. The bright, shiny future of the next 50 years will be wonderful, and it will be due in part by your leadership. And on behalf of our citizens, we thank you very much for your commitment to our community, which is now your community. Thank you.
Good words, thank you. City Councilwoman Mary Beth Perlizzi.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And one of these, I have to take my glasses off in order to read. Thank you. And on behalf of the Mayor and City Council, Dr. Bambara, I'm truly honored to be here for your celebration today, not only professionally but personally. As Allegheny County College of Maryland is a pivotal piece of our Cumberland heritage and that of our region, the focus of post-secondary education is one of the city's 5 economic strategies for economic development strategies for the future. And Dr. Bambara, you will be setting the stage for the legacy that you leave here as president of this outstanding institution. Do you know that Allegheny College contributes nearly $30 million in direct economic impact, along with an additional $35 million in outside money that comes to this community because of its presence, and provides workforce development and a plethora of continuing education courses. But most importantly, Allegheny College is hope for the future for so many who otherwise could only dream of an opportunity to pursue a college education. Your first year has been critical here, Dr. Bambara, and you have begun to learn the culture of the area, developing and writing your expectations and your priorities for what it is that you want to accomplish, and focus and center around all that it is that you hope for this community to attain. And you mix that expectation with your own style and your comfort level, and then your frequency of communication and the substance of your message that will translate to your legacy. You've already embraced the community, the external community, in so many ways by reaching out. You immediately opened your door to helping others who are less fortunate, and I speak of that because of my position with United Way, as you have helped us in our efforts. You've become rapidly engaged in Rotary, the Chamber of Commerce, and our church, to only mention a few. But I must tell you about how she literally can flex her muscles, because she actually mentored me in my first few classes of body pump at Life Fitness. We are so proud of Allegheny College and its demonstrated performance and improvement when it comes to equipping students with access and knowledge to succeed. As the fifth president of this vital cornerstone of our future, you will further define your role, not only about educating, but transforming our workforce in these changing economic times. I look forward to working with you, and on behalf of the members of the Mayor and City Council of Cumberland, I present to you a certificate of recognition presented to you by the city as the 5th president of Allegheny College of Maryland. On behalf of the citizens of Cumberland, we look forward to supporting your newly designated role in the advancement of educational initiatives that encourage individual achievement and promote economic growth. And we thank Allegheny College of Maryland for its continued commitment to provide quality programs of higher education designed to meet the changing needs of our community. Congratulations.
And next, our MAC, M-A-C-C, that stands for Maryland Association of Community Colleges, Executive Director, and our new Executive Director, by the way, Dr. Bernard Sadusky.
Distinguished guests, it is quite an honor to be here this afternoon, and I bring you greetings from the Maryland Association of Community Colleges. Congratulations, Madam President. I would like to acknowledge 3 of our presidents that are here. We have Dr. Kate Hetherington. If you don't mind, please stand. Dr. Guy Altieri and Dr. Richard McLennan. And I know we have one person who may be stuck in traffic, as I was earlier today. I'd like to start by saying congratulations to Allegany College for successfully completing more than 50 years of serving this community. It's interesting to note that the initial class was comprised of 122 students. Today we have 3,700 credit-seeking students and approximately 8,000 continuing education students. It's also interesting to note that over that history, through many successful years, Allegany College has remained steadfast in its dedication to excellence, an educational program preparing individuals in mind, body, and spirit for enriching and fulfilling lives. In many ways, Allegany's college mission is reflective of early Greek society, emphasizing the development of the whole person. As we now approach an increasingly diverse society and a shrinking world, all of our educational institutions are challenged to inform the future from the past. And we must understand that no matter how technologically advanced we become as a society, we will continue to be confronted by either local or world crises. Expecting status quo would be naive. Allegany College has historically demonstrated its ability to rise to these challenges by stimulating the intellect of its students to become contributing members of society globally and contributing members of the local community. Allegany College has maintained an expectation that all students will leave with an open mind, understanding that the ability to think for oneself is the ultimate sign of maturity, understanding that the problems of the world are seen through different lenses, and that there is just not one way of solving the problems of the world. From the most recent discovery of the Higgs boson particle, new doors to the future will be opened, and it will take society's collective efforts to understand that we have just begun to know ourselves in the universe. As we continue to search for answers to questions not yet asked, we know that the key ingredient will be effective leadership, and that leadership will define our success. The Allegany College Board of Trustees has chosen a dynamic, visionary leader to answer the task of leading this historically successful college on this continuous journey. Dr. Cynthia Bambara brings a wealth of experience to her position as the 5th president of this college. Her experiences are rich and diverse, but most prominent is her practical approach to the job. Her beliefs are grounded in the premise that you do what it takes. You change only as change dictates. And above all else, student success is paramount. Access is meaningless without student success, and we must be relentless in that pursuit. And those are her words. What a great philosophy, what a great choice as a president of this outstanding institution. It was a great pleasure and confidence that we at the Maryland Association of Community Colleges recognize you, Doctor, as president and pledge our support for you in this role.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those words, Dr. Sadusky. And welcome. Welcome to our state. We love it. At this time, I'd like to share with you, if I may, a proclamation from the president of Chesapeake College, and I will read it as best I can. Dr. Bambara, if you would like to join me, please. The President and Board of Trustees of Chesapeake College extend greetings and congratulations to Allegany College of Maryland on the occasion of the inauguration of Dr. Cynthia S. Bambara as the 5th President and express our best wishes for continued success. Barbara A. Veneri, President. Congratulations. You folks are up. I heard Melody say to the group, that was beautiful, and it was. Thank you again, Melody, and choir members for that really, really wonderful rendition of a very inspirational song. Certainly, I think, as I listen to the words, very appropriate selection for this occasion. As I invite recent graduate Chris Ulrey to the stage to offer a reading, I'd also like to thank the other musical groups performing here at this inauguration. The Laurel String Quartet, in addition to providing lovely music, their participation underscores the close partnership this college enjoys with the state of Pennsylvania. Welcome, quartet members. Again, thank you very much. Chris?
Hello, everyone. This is a story about how I decided to go to college, and I extended it with a little resolution at the end because no story is a good story without that. It's called A Chance Encounter with a Good Decision. It was a strange awakening that morning. I opened my eyes, and as if I had been arguing with myself in my sleep, I said simply, okay. For the first time in a while, things felt clear. I woke up angry and agitated with myself, but focused and certain. As I got dressed, I recounted all of my reasons for putting off this path that I was now so ready to take. All of my arguments against it just didn't make any sense anymore. I used to think that college degrees of any kind were just overrated pieces of paper worth only their weight in pulp. There I was, 25 years old, and working in a job I didn't want and getting paid an amount that was far under my perceived value. If I wanted to go out of town with friends, I would have to consider whether or not I could afford losing half a month's wages. And this was when I was living with my dad and didn't have many expenses. I hopped up the stairs of Dad's split-level home and found him on his recliner watching television. One of the small rewards of responsible living is the ability to have and enjoy leisure time. Going to college, I said. All right, he replied. That's true. On my drive down through Cresaptown and Cumberland, I could only ask myself questions. What am I going to say when I get there? Excuse me. What do I really want to do with the rest of my life? Why did I put this off for so long? Why did I settle for banality and mediocrity in the first place? Passing through the main streets of my hometown, my mind began to flutter with thoughts of the possibilities. Normally at this point I would begin to doubt myself and give reasons to turn around. Instead, I was dubiously taking inventory of my strengths and renouncing my weaknesses. This was not the time for negative introspection. All I could do was imagine myself on a graduation day running through the streets shouting, I've got my golden ticket. I will never be a cautionary tale. I will never again be undersold, underpaid, underestimated, or overworked. I will be free. Yes, true freedom. I would have the freedom to experience new things and challenge myself. I would have the freedom to apply myself and grow. I would have the freedom now to walk up to anyone and say, I did something to better myself. This was the best of my days, and my mind was made up. I was going to college, and I wasn't going to stop until my hunger for education was sated. I was determined, I was strong, I was indestructible, and as I learned when I pulled into the campus on December 23rd, the college was about as vacant as it could be. I realized then I'd been flying blind in a storm without a destination. I was allowing myself to fall unrestrained into uncertainty. I had no idea what I was doing or how to go about completing the task, and I was loving every second of it. So as 2 years passed, I became a bit more focused, more of a navigator of my educational path and less of just a passenger. So what did I gain from my beginnings at ACM? Well, I sat in my 9 a.m. Shakespeare class at FSU. We were reviewing Julius Caesar, and Dr. Smith asked, would Caesar have become the tyrant the conspirators feared? The rest of the class had a cynical, yes, power is bad. I flashed back to ACM. Sociology 101 with Linda Zidell, the Stanford prison experiment. Power seemed to be corrupting in that case, and as she would say, you have to keep an eye out for your inner Nazi. Well, that's not going to work for this one, so on to speech. We had a quote with Bev Wilcox, a quote assignment with Bev Wilcox. One quote I came over was, it's not that power is corrupting, but that it's magnetic to the corruptible. All right, that's okay, but it's not quite going to do it for this one. I know. Dr. Stone's Spanish class, where he told us, on more than several occasions, I believe, of the story of the King of Spain, who was raised by militants, practically brainwashed to be a tyrant, and on the day that he assumed the throne, he gave the power to the people. Democracy. Now, the military tried to overthrow him. He said, "Go right ahead, everyone's going to see you." They did nothing. So yes, I said power can be corrupting, but it is not inherently corruptible, and they made a serious mistake whenever they decided to assassinate Julius Caesar. I held their undivided attention. Some jaws were dropped, including Dr. Smith's. So I just want to say that's what I gained. Thank you very much, ACM. It was good to see you again. Good luck.
Well, wasn't that refreshing? It really was. So we needed lightened up a little bit, I think, too, in this somber occasion. So Chris, thank you very, very much. Very well done, and we're proud of you. Would the representatives of the college constituents groups please join me on stage for the presentation of the medallion?
The top half of the circular jewel utilizes the natural patterning in green and blue agates to create an inlaid representation of mountains and sky.
One lower quarter features a polished slice of malachite, chosen for its resemblance to the school color of green. This slice serves as a backdrop to a sculpted gold lamp of knowledge.
The opposing lower section is worked in a 4-color enamel depicting portions of the Maryland state flag. Alleghany College of Maryland, seal of the president, in gold letters within a twisted border, forms the circumference of the medallion. It is suspended from a satin ribbon and a gold bale, formed as a mortarboard and a rolled diploma.
On behalf of the students, faculty, and staff of Alleghany College of Maryland, I present the medallion to be worn by the president at formal college events to symbolize the responsibility vested in that office.
The Board of Trustees of Alleghany College of Maryland presents you with this medallion, which symbolizes the authority invested in you by the Board of Trustees to operate and represent the college as its Chief Executive Officer. The ribbon by which the medallion hangs represents the yoke of responsibility for the welfare of this institution. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure, and it's our pleasure, to present the 5th President of Alleghany College of Maryland, Dr. Cynthia Bambara. I didn't even have to say, please be seated. You just sat down. In this portion of our ceremony, we have very meaningful words and heartfelt sentiments from some people who know Dr. Bambara's past and best. It gives me great pleasure to welcome her sons, Timothy and Thomas, to the podium for an appreciation that only they could certainly provide as two sons. They will be followed by Dr. Susan Short, a former colleague of Dr. Bambara, who will offer further appreciation of her long life friend. And she's also a Western Maryland native. That's a good thing.
Good afternoon. We're going to go one at a time if that's okay. I'm Timothy. Today I'd like to talk to you all about a woman I've known most of my life. all of my life. For most of you in the audience, you may have known her for about a year or two. You know her formally as Dr. Cynthia Bambara. In my family, we affectionately refer to her as Dr. B, or sometimes Mom. I've even heard she has come to earn her own nickname throughout her career, Barracuda Bambara. I kind of wish I thought of that one. I have recently come to know her in my own county as a bit of a folk hero. For me, the legend of Dr. B starts a long time ago, as far back as 1981, if you can remember. I first knew her as a provider and a source of comfort, whose gift of telling bedtime stories and baking dinosaur cookies could not be matched by any other throughout the land. She had a knack for throwing birthday parties and fashioning incredible Halloween costumes, not just for my brother and myself, but for the entire neighborhood. When I fell down and scraped my knees, she had a magical ability to make the boo-boos go away. Finally, she protected me, maybe overprotected a bit, but she still protected me from all harm. As I grew older, I learned more and more about her infinite patience, kindness, and love. Trust me, I've tested it plenty of times. One day back in the early 90s, she decided to start a career in community college education. As a farm girl who was raised in central Pennsylvania, it's fairly appropriate that she started her new career in a barn, literally a barn, in the middle of a small county in Virginia called Fauquier County. As the years went by, I watched her transform from mom into a leader, first as a counselor, an educator, then to an administrator, and finally a vice president. The barn even transformed into a true community college campus, which now serves over 7,500 students, as well as individuals seeking professional development. I passed the Warrenton campus of Lord Fairfax Community College on my way to work every morning. Now, you would think that these accomplishments would have been enough for one person. Not for Cindy Bambara. See, only a few years ago, she wasn't called Dr. B, just Mom or Mrs. Bambara. She's the first doctor on both sides of my family. And personally, I think the title of doctor suits her very well, especially because I know how hard she worked and the sacrifices she made to earn the title. In order to gain the credentials to perform as a president of a community college, she enrolled in a distant learning PhD program at Colorado State University. She was participating in this doctorate program on top of her full-time job at Lord Fairfax, as well as keeping her family above water with 2 sons in college and a husband in college who was studying to become a special education teacher. She completed her doctorate of philosophy and community college leadership in 2007. Somehow, she still found time to bake cookies. I come to talk to you today from Fauquier County, Virginia, where I currently am a new teacher at Liberty High School. During my orientation this past August, I learned how truly legendary my mother is in the community. It seems that everywhere I turn, my mother has touched someone's life. There are several students that have graduated from Lord Fairfax Community College over the years who she's affected, whether it was through a dual enrollment program or it was a student who had participated in forensic competitions that she set up at the Fauquier County Rotary Club. Some of these students are my friends from high school. Recently, I met one of her first students, a father, at a back-to-school night. This student's son is now a student in my own class. The last few weeks, I have realized what a tremendous reputation I have to live up to as a new teacher in Fauquier County. So what makes a legend? Is it the great feats one has accomplished? Is it the battles overcome or the awesome achievements made? I would say that the one thing that truly makes a person a legend is their character. You will find no other leader with the amount of patience, intuition, wisdom, humor, empathy, and love for education than Dr. Cynthia Bambara. While she is missed in Fauquier County, her impact on the community will always be remembered and lives on through the educators and administrators with whom she has interacted. Her character can be seen in individual teachers, including my father and myself. While she is finally remembered, we all know that she is needed in Cumberland to lead Allegany College into the future. I believe she will be able to help grow and nurture this community as much as she has done in Virginia, as well as with her own family. I just ask all of you here at ACM one small favor. Please allow her enough time to still bake me a few cookies. Thanks for your time, and here's to the future of Allegany College of Maryland, led by Dr. Cynthia Bambara. He's the handsome one, I'm the funny one. So. I want to start briefly by welcoming once again members of our family who have traveled very far distances to be here today. Our friends, Gene and Charlie Kaler, who are our oldest friends, and they're kind of like the Olive Garden. When they're here, they're family, so let's treat them that way. My aunt and my uncle, Kay and Charlie Chervanik, from Tallahassee, Florida, came a real long way, as well as my cousins Carly and Kyle. And everybody give a round of applause for my Nana, Jerry Mosser. Jerry Mosser is the mother of my mother, and such a wonderful mother she is. I also want to briefly recognize my grandfather, Sturman Mosser, who passed away earlier this year. And he would be tremendously proud of my mom today, and I know how much he would have wanted to be here. It's kind of a tough year for us as a family, but this is a tremendous celebration for us today, and we're very, very, very pleased to see your success, Mom. This is wonderful. And of course, my dad. What's up? Keep going, keep it going. You give me the light real quick. Now, I also want to thank everybody here at ACM. We're very new here in Cumberland, and you've just been wonderful in welcoming our family, making us feel tremendously just proud to be a part of this community now. This is home for us. We were in Warrenton, Virginia for 20 years, and now we're in Allegany, College of Maryland in Cumberland. Wow, long way. And I came a long way. I'm actually from Chicago. And for the last decade, I've been away from my mom and dad, and it's been really difficult for me because, I'm just pained to be away from them, specifically Mom over here, because there's this oft-told story about when I was a little guy. It could have been more than 2 or 3, and I just started talking, I think. And we had gone to the Jersey Shore for vacation, and my mom and my Nana were going to stay an extra night, but Dad and my brother and I, we were going to go home that night. So Mom straps me into the car seat, and she kisses me goodbye. And we're going to see her in the morning. It's not that big of a deal. But the whole 90-minute ride home, all I would say is, Mom, Mom, Mom. Tommy, that's enough. Mom, Mom. You're going to see her in the morning. Mom. All night long until I saw her in the morning. I think I pretty much sealed the deal. I am a mama's boy. And I have no problem with that, because my mom is awesome. I don't know if you know that. She is incredible. And getting to speak at presidential inaugurations is just part of the deal. And while we all know that she's a sterling professional, I'm more here to talk about the personal life that you don't get to see. We're all very, very impressed by Dr. Cynthia Sue Bambara. And it's easy to be wowed by her dedication to her profession, her grace in the workplace, her pragmatic approach to problem solving, not to mention all those wonderful outfits from Casper. They gave me a coupon for saying that, so make sure you get that later. Actually, there's nobody in the world who's better at shopping than Cindy Bambara. I'll say that. The woman knows how to shop. I think she has a wardrobe with an actual retail value of about $47,000. And I don't think you've spent more than $1,500 on it. Just saying. It's truly amazing to watch how savvy Cindy can sniff out a deal at Macy's. She once got me a $500 coat for $85. She followed up a deal with a coupon with a freaking shopper bonus. And it's not just coats. After 28 years, she still buys all my clothing for me. I'm not ashamed of it because she's got really good taste, but I need to hustle up and get married, because at 28, that's fine. When we get to 30, that'd be a little weird. You never know. I think the only thing that she didn't pick out for me was the suit that I'm wearing right now. Joseph A. Bank, actual retail value $700, marked down 20% with an extra 20% coupon, and then it was a 3-for-1 deal. So it turned out to be $150. And don't I look awesome? Yeah. She taught me well. As much as she knows how to save at shopping, she also knows how to save memories. She's been the official documentarian of our family for the past 30+ years. I don't think anybody really appreciates how much we should be appreciating her saving these memories, mostly because it's a little exasperating to hold a pose in the same position for quite some time. But We're always going to have these amazing pictures of our get-togethers as a family and at holidays and on vacations. And if she didn't take the lead on that, none of my Facebook friends would be able to see an awesome picture of this man sitting in a Dumbo ride at Disney World this year. Not embarrassing. The other thing I want to tell you about that you might not know is she's got a little bit of a spontaneous streak in her. Now, she graduated from college, and upon graduating, she moved to the big city, New York. And after a little bit of time there, she wound up meeting a kid from Brooklyn who was very handsome and played the guitar. And they started dating in the summer of 1974, the beginning of the summer. And they were married at the end of the summer of 1974. They were together for 3 months, and then they got married. Hey, they've been married for 38 years. So if I was my dad, that's like buying Apple stock in the 80s. Really pays off now. He took a cue from Beyonce. If he liked it, he went and put a ring on it. What else can I tell you? She's a wonderful chef. She has an above-average score at Scrabble. Tim's not kidding. She once stitched Ninja Turtles costumes for every single kid in the neighborhood. It was incredible. She should have patented that design. Let's see. She makes the best sugar cookies in the world. Cover that, Tim. We should have compared notes. But most importantly, she kept our family going through the years. I think of our family as a basketball team, as I'm wont to do as a big basketball enthusiast. And I think we're pretty strong at every position. Dad's our dominant center, clearly. Tim's a very hard-working power forward. Nana, she's our small forward, because let's face it, you could fit her in your pocket if you want to take her home later. I'm the flashy shooting guard. And Mom's our point guard. And a point guard runs the team by running plays, taking care of the other players, making sure everything runs efficiently, and attacking the goal whenever necessary. But above all, a point guard is a strong leader. And it's typically okay if they're under 6 feet tall. Allegany College of Maryland, you have a Hall of Fame point guard that's going to be leading your team. And when your 5th president finally ends her career, you're going to need to retire her number over there in the gymnasium. Oh, wait, you need a jersey first, don't you? Let's see what I got. There we go. Give another loud round of sound for my mom, Cindy Bambara.
Well, I'm about to tell you, I'm living out my greatest fear in life, having to follow Tim and Tom Bambara and their comments. Boys, thank you so much for your reflections and your comments. I can assure you that your mom has been proud of you each and every day that you've been on this earth, and you have always, well, almost always, added the extra shine to her star. She and your dad are so very proud of the both of you and your many accomplishments, and it is a joy to be with you today. So students and staff, faculty, elected officials, and community champions, I bring you greetings, warm salutations, and congratulations from Dr. Charles Steger, President of Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University, and the entire Hokie Nation. It is good to be home in Western Maryland, an absolute privilege and a joy to be with you for this celebration. I first learned of your president from our Director of Continuing and Professional Education at Lord Fairfax Community College, who had somehow come up with the decision and funding to operate an extended campus site in Fauquier County, Virginia. It was his vision to establish a center 45 miles from the main campus in order to provide access to the citizens of Warrenton and the surrounding region. Now, some of you are thinking, wow, what a visionary. Well, I have to tell you, it was 1991, and I can tell you I wasn't thinking, wow, what a visionary. I was thinking, how in the world are we going to support student learning from a distance? So we came up with an idea that our student services team of counselors and continuing education staff would set up a rotational schedule where one of us would travel to Warrenton on a daily basis to provide academic advising, placement testing, career advising, and financial aid information for a couple of hours each day. After about 6 months, I quickly learned that we needed to come up with a different strategy. One day, our continuing education director stopped by my office and asked me to take a look at a resume to let him know what I thought. It took me about 5 minutes to tell him what I thought. Look, buddy, this person has a bachelor's degree in psychology from Juniata College in Pennsylvania, a master's degree in rehabilitation counseling from the University of South Alabama. She's worked as the director of career planning and placement at Furman University in South Carolina. She was an area housing residence life coordinator while completing her master's degree, and she lives in Warrenton, Virginia. I ask, at that moment, can she start tomorrow? He paused and in all of his wisdom suggested that perhaps I might want to give her a call and set up an appointment to meet with her. My first encounter with your president was in a barn. Yes, you've already heard about the barn, and I suspect you're going to hear more about the barn. Even though it was a renovated horse barn in Fauquier County, it was still a barn. The hay was still in the loft. The bat and bird residue was still up there. And you know those fly strips that hang to your flies? Well, they were in the hallway. But the soon-to-be student services specialist greeted me enthusiastically, announced that she couldn't wait to learn more about our students and our vision for the site, and immediately became a part of a special unit that was committed to providing comprehensive support services in order to ensure and inspire student success. To this day, I believe adding Cindy Bambara to the team at Lord Fairfax Community College was one of the best hiring decisions that I have made in my entire professional career. She soon became the person of choice that our students sought out in relationship to academic advising and career planning. As a result of her work ethic, her attention to detail, her ability to collaborate with diverse audiences, and her ability to creatively seek solutions for faculty concerns and instructional issues, she became the most respected and sought-out leaders at our institution and an ambassador for the entire Virginia Community College system. Even though I left the community college system in 2004, I closely followed the career path and cheered on your new leader from a distance as she advanced through the administrative ranks to Vice President of Student Success, Chief Administrative Officer, completed her PhD in Community College Leadership from the Colorado State University, and served as interim president at Central Virginia Community College. During the fall of 2010, we were able to sit down one evening to talk about her journey to the presidency and to share with one another what we knew about places called Bedford, Somerset, Cumberland, and Allegany College of Maryland. It seemed as if the Board of Trustees was searching for a person that would be focused on student success and access, honor the institution's high standards and reputation for excellence, provide sound financial leadership and planning, engage the community, and garner resources to meet the diverse needs of the region, while having the unique ability to leap tall buildings in a single bound. The rest of the story is history, and now your future. Students, you are at the very core of your president's decision-making. Your successes are her successes, and she is committed to providing you with the value of what it means to be an engaged citizen. You are certainly blessed. Faculty, your president is an innovator and seeks to identify and allocate resources to support your efforts both within and outside of the walls of the academic classroom. She is a scholar in her own right and clearly understands the delicate balance related to enrollment growth and management, as well as the complexities associated with providing greater access through distance technologies and online learning. Community champions, she is a gifted listener and communicator, eager to engage you in identifying and meeting the comprehensive mission of this fine institution. Trustees, I am confident that you already believe that this is one of your best hires that you have ever made in the history of this organization. She is absolutely one of the most outstanding professionals that I've had the privilege to work alongside and learn from. I encourage all of you to harness the energy, the excitement, the enthusiasm of today's celebration and recommit yourselves to becoming the best community college of its kind and size in the nation by working collaboratively with one another to exceed national benchmarks. Respect tradition, inspire students to achieve dreams they never imagined possible, embrace learning technologies that expand access to programs and possibilities, support, honor, and stand beside your new president in providing access for citizens of this tri-state region with affordable, quality higher education, and contribute to an institution that is indeed touching lives and changing futures. Business and industry, K through 12 organizations and community agencies, both public and private, you need this institution and this president to be wildly successful in order to contribute significantly to the vibrancy of this community and economic vitality within the region. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming my treasured colleague and forever friend who just happens to be your 5th president and leader at Allegany College of Maryland, President Dr. Cynthia Bambara.
Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for honoring me today. Dr. Short, I especially thank you for your kind words and gracious introduction. It is because of you that I'm here today. You introduced me to the community college mission almost 20 years ago and ignited my passion for our students and the work that we do to support their goals. Welcome home to your native Western Maryland. I am thrilled that you're here to celebrate with us today on this very special occasion. Thank you to our elected officials, both state and local, who work so diligently to advocate for our institutions and allow us to fulfill the community college mission. I very much appreciate your warm greetings. Mr. Leonard and our Board of Trustees, thank you for the confidence that you have placed in me and for your unwavering support of my leadership. To our foundation board members and generous donors, without you, we would not find ourselves in a strong position in both Maryland and Pennsylvania that allows us to serve our mission. To my colleagues from Maryland, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Virginia, thank you for your presence here today and for representing your college or university. The need for collaboration among our institutions has never been more important to accomplish our collective higher education mission. Dr. Sadusky, I am grateful for your presence here today, and I thank you for your warm greetings on behalf of Maryland Community Colleges. To the outstanding faculty, staff, students, and alumni of Allegany College of Maryland, thank you for being here with me today to celebrate this moment in history. I'm especially grateful to all of you on the Inauguration Committee and all of the faculty and staff who have worked so hard to make today a special celebration. Mom, welcome to my college. I am so happy that you're here today to meet those in my new ACM family. To my sister Kay, my brother-in-law Charlie, my nephew Kyle, my niece Carly, who are sitting next to Mom in the front row, thank you for taking the time out of your lives and making the trip from Tallahassee, Florida. Jean and Charlie, you've been dear friends to our family, and I don't know what we would have done without you. Thank you for driving my family to Cumberland to be with me today. To all of my family and friends, I thank you for your support, for your encouragement and for instilling in me the self-confidence that has allowed me to always strive for a new level of excellence. Timothy and Thomas, thank you for speaking on my behalf today. You can see it was a calculated risk on my part, as there are many things they could have said that surely would have me blushing. I'm grateful that you're good sons and that you followed my instructions. Thank you for being here and especially for your encouragement throughout the journey that brought me to ACM while still allowing me to be your mom. My final and most important thank you goes to you, Michael, my husband of 38 years. Thank you for standing by me with your unwavering support in ways that have allowed me to reach for and realize my hopes and dreams. I have been at this college now for just over a year. It is comforting to be able to look to my left and out into the theater to see so many familiar faces. I am privileged to work with a talented and dedicated group of individuals within a community rich in vitality and promise. It is my honor to serve Allegany College of Maryland as its 5th president, and I thank all of you for the trust you have placed in me to lead this institution. As you've heard, my community college career began on an October day in 1992, almost 20 years ago, when Dr. Short hired me for $9 an hour to spend 12 hours a week providing support services to a handful of students in a refurbished barn that became the Warrenton, Virginia home of Lord Fairfax Community College. It didn't matter to me what Lord Fairfax paid me because I was excited to have an opportunity to re-enter the world of higher education after spending the most important 8 years of my life as a full-time mom for Timothy and Thomas. I was excited to be working in a barn because, as you also have heard, I'm a farm girl, born and raised through and through. I spent a lot of time in the barn on my family's farm, reflecting, dreaming, imagining what could and might be. So this was a perfect match for me, a dream come true. After a short time, I soon realized there were many who made the turn toward the drive that led to that barn and then turned around. There also were those who made it to the parking lot, but never had the courage to get out of the car to walk in the front door. But for those who had the courage to make their way up the winding road to the top of the hill, park their car and walk into that barn and open the door, I was the person just on the other side of the front door. I soon realized it was how I met and embraced each potential student that became the transformational moment in that person's life. Transforming lives is what has brought me to you today. I'd like to share a few examples of courage and transformation. Tricia was a mother of 3 whose husband had recently been incarcerated. She walked up to that barn door with her 3 children in tow. She knew she needed to be in a better place. She opened the door and met me on the other side. In the early days working with community college students, I quickly learned that the most important thing for me to remember was to be non-judgmental. And for Tricia, that is what made the difference. I helped her define and embrace her goals. As she became the campus president of Phi Theta Kappa Honorary Society, as she completed her associate's degree to prepare for transfer with a 4.0 grade point average. And as I followed her, I learned that she transferred to a local university, earned her bachelor's degree, and landed a position with a respectable income that allowed her to support her family. Brian came to me as a sort of traditional student, but with a twist. You see, while he was of traditional age, he didn't graduate from high school. He had dropped out because he no longer could see his purpose, and he was just bored. Instead, he earned his GED, yet he knew he needed to do something more. When he walked through that barn door, he said to me, "I doubt that there's anything you can do for me, but I'm here just the same." He felt that by dropping out of high school, he had ruined his chances of ever advancing himself through higher education. The difference that I made as I met him at that barn door is that I listened to his hopes, his desires, and I saw his potential. Like Tricia, Brian also became a leader in the Phi Theta Kappa Honorary Society. he earned a high GPA and transferred to the University of Virginia to not only earn his bachelor's degree, but also a master's degree. My latest sighting of Brian was that he is teaching English as a second language in the local public schools and pursuing his doctorate at the University of Virginia. My last story is about Jason, a Desert Storm veteran who came to see me shortly after completing his military service. One of the brightest and most motivated students I ever had, Jason had plenty of courage. He was on a new mission as he entered his local community college. He knew he wanted to study business, and together we mapped out his 2-year degree. After graduating with a 4.0 grade point average, Jason went on to earn his bachelor's degree in business administration from George Mason University. Almost a decade later, after working with him, I had the pleasure of sitting next to him at our weekly Rotary Club meetings, and we would often reminisce about those days in the barn. Many more stories like this have brought me here today. We, as community colleges and as community college professionals, first touch lives by opening our doors to all who want to learn. Through the power of teaching and learning, we facilitate a transformation in the lives of our students, and in turn, we change futures for our students and for the communities where they live. Well, we are here to celebrate my inauguration. Today is not about me, nor my passion for my work, nor my stories. It is about us, this college that we love and the communities that we serve. Today, we recall a proud past as we have just completed a year's celebration in honor of the college's 50th anniversary. We recognize a solid present as we set the stage for a future of renewed energy and vision. Today, I'd like to share a few reflections of our past, thoughts of what distinguishes this college today, and set a vision for our future. It was in 1961 when ACM launched its first legacy on Frederick Street under the leadership of the first president, Dr. Robert Zimmer. This was a modest start in a small former school building where people from the community came together, not unlike my experience in the refurbished barn. My predecessors grew enrollment from just over 100 students that first year to exceed 4,000 students today. To date, ACM has awarded over 20,000 degrees and certificates in our credit programs and has served over 250,000 individuals through continuing education and workforce training. Our rich history of past accomplishments at this college provides us with much to celebrate. The college has had many successes along the way during those first 50 years, and today we find ourselves in a solid present. My predecessors at this college and the dedicated, caring, and committed faculty and staff have placed ACM in a strong position to serve our students and our communities. As we examine the present, our students tell us that they are highly satisfied with their ACM experience, the services that they receive, and the quality of their education. And our employers tell us the same. They are highly satisfied with the preparedness of ACM graduates for the workplace. ACM's performance is strong, with completion rates among the highest in the state of Maryland, and taxpayers should be happy to know ACM's efficiency is also strong, with the cost of graduating each student among the lowest in the state of Maryland. ACM has exceptional support through its foundations here in Cumberland and at our Pennsylvania campuses in Somerset and Bedford. ACM's Cumberland Foundation is among the most successful in Maryland's community colleges with the highest contributions, net assets, and endowments per full-time equivalent student. That holds true in a region where the median household income is the lowest in the state of Maryland. That says volumes to the tremendous support of our college from the private sector in our community. Many of you, our supporters, are sitting among us today. And on behalf of this college and ACM students, I thank you. In today's economy, we could not possibly serve our mission without your support. Today, ACM is strong and fiscally sound. We are a highly effective and efficient organization, and all of us at the college are committed to seek ways to improve. There is no question that this college is in a very strong position to move forward into the next half century to serve as a powerful driver of the economic engines in our regions. Yet, we cannot be content to rest on our past accomplishments. With any commemoration comes an opportunity to look forward to what lies ahead. Even as we recognize our significant achievements, we acknowledge that there is still a great deal of work to be done as we have many future generations of students to educate. As we launch a new legacy, we must look to a future of renewed energy and vision. Quite frankly, as we move forward, we face a new reality. It is my responsibility to set the tone and the trajectory for how we as a college will continue to serve our mission, our region, our state, and our country in this new reality. Community colleges mirror the nation that invented them. Often called democracy schools, they offer open-door opportunity and access to higher education for people from all walks of life. We excel at educating lower-income students and students whose parents never attended college. We also educate students at any time of life, such as older students training for a new career and women returning to the workforce. Community colleges are innovative and flexible in meeting economic and workplace needs. We provide value and service to individuals and communities. Little wonder our community colleges are the fastest growing segment of United States higher education and now enroll nearly half of all undergraduates. As we look ahead, we do face a new reality that poses a great challenge, but also a great opportunity. A recent American Community College Association report lays out a clear message. If community colleges are to powerfully meet student needs in a 21st century economy, education leaders must reimagine what these institutions can be. Here's the challenge. For generations, the world leader in college degree completion, the United States now ranks 16th in the 25 to 34-year age range. In the STEM subjects especially, science, technology, engineering, and math, we are losing ground. Success in today's global economy depends on a well-educated citizenry. Now, the opportunity. By 2018, nearly 2/3 of all American jobs will require post-secondary education. Community colleges have a crucial role in seizing this opportunity. Our nation is called upon to add 20 million post-secondary educated workers over the next 15 years. As we ensure that more of our students meet their education goals and complete their certificates and degrees, ACM and my fellow community colleges help our country become more competitive. In the process, we reduce income inequality and reverse the decline of the middle class. It is our responsibilities to help students identify educational goals that are relevant in today's workplace. The Community College Report defines a crucial moment for leadership. We must reframe our schools and reimagine how we will accomplish our mission. It outlines a three-pronged framework for change, a new 3 Rs. First is a call to redesign the student's educational experience by increasing completion rates and dramatically improving college readiness. Second is a call to reinvent the roles of our institutions by refocusing our mission and our role to meet 21st century education and employment needs. And third is to reset our systems to create incentives for student and instructional success by investing in support structures to serve multiple community colleges through collaboration among institutions and with partners in philanthropy, government, and the private sector. There is much more detail to the 3 Rs. However, the most important message today is that the reimagination process at Allegany College of Maryland began with my arrival in March 2011. We have been working on the 3 Rs, and we will continue to do so with special emphasis on relevance to the needs of our local and global economies. Relevant to the 3 Rs, each year we as a college develop our collective annual initiatives that move us forward in accomplishing our strategic plan. We have developed this year's initiatives that will allow us to continue reimagining our future. In the next year, we will complete our current strategic plan and begin the process of formulating the roadmap for our next chapter. Under the guidance of our Board of Trustees, we will gather widespread input from both our internal and external communities to form a shared vision. It is my hope that this shared vision will include a goal for ACM to be the best community college of its size and kind in the nation. best being defined by national benchmarks such as the Best Community Colleges to Work For, sponsored by the Chronicle of Higher Education, the Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence, and the Center for Community College Student Engagement. I believe we can meet the benchmarks that define best community college in the nation because at ACM, we have a secret ingredient that's not easily defined nor replicated in these benchmarks, and it is our culture. We have an unwavering culture that is committed to the success of our students. In November of 2010, I walked on the Cumberland campus for the first time as I prepared for my interview for this presidency. The flags along the reflecting pool that greeted me as I entered the president's suite read, "Your success, our goal." That message resonated so closely with me, and as I shared with you in my stories, it is the care of our students and the commitment to their success that has been at the core of my efforts ever since I began work with community colleges in that barn back in 1992. As we celebrate our past and our present, we do look forward and continue to reframe and transform our college so that we are able to accomplish our mission to serve the 21st century higher education and workforce training needs of our community. Today, we launch a new legacy. Our future is bright as we collaborate with our educational institutions, local and regional government organizations, and our community at large. We have all the right ingredients to become the best community college of our size and kind in the nation. We are a community who is resilient, we are strong, and together we can accomplish anything that we wish. I will close with a quote that's been most inspiring to me over the years from Francis of Assisi. "Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible." In our past, we have done what is necessary. Today we are doing what is possible, and tomorrow we will be doing the impossible. As you approach the door, know I am there to welcome you. Open the door, meet me on the other side, and let us create our future together. Thank you for your confidence and for allowing me this most incredible opportunity to serve as your 5th president.
I think we have a winner. And I want to thank actually the Board of Trustees for spending all the time and energy they did in the presidential search and everybody that was involved in it because we got the very best. We're really happy you're here, Cindy. At this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Ronald Jenkins, Associate Professor of English, to come to the podium to read a poem he has written for this particular occasion.
I'm honored to be here reading a poem that I composed for this occasion. I've only had about a week to compose it, and that's why I have the pen up here, because I'm still adding to it and editing it. When I first got the job of bringing a poem, I thought that I'd find a poem that was already written and that would be suitable. But that didn't work out, and I decided to just write one. I enjoy writing poetry after all, and this is my excuse to isolate myself a little bit and write some poetry. The problem remained of how to write the poem. Usually, I look to the great poets for inspiration, and since some of our current campus themes revolve around democracy and inclusion and community, the best place for inspiration was Walt Whitman. Arguably, I would argue, the greatest American poet in our history, the good great poet of the Civil War and Abraham Lincoln, lover of mankind, of democracy, and prophet of equality. So the morning after having gone to sleep reading the great book Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, I woke up about 5 a.m.
with some lines going around in my head that sounded like old Walt himself. So I say that I kind of collaborated with Walt Whitman in the composition of this poem. The first draft of this poem spilled out on the page in the course of a morning. All this is just to explain the title of the poem and how I collaborated with a poet who has been dead 120 years. In the poem, I quote directly from Walt Whitman and refer to him frequently. I wove this material into events that had stuck in my mind from the previous day, some impressions from those events. Whitman, by the way, was a big loafer. He is constantly inviting us to pause and contemplate a blade of grass or to shout up to a hawk in the sky. So ultimately, the poem is our invitation to loaf a little, to pause and contemplate or think critically about this occasion and its meaning. The poem is titled, "Let Us Pause Together for a Day," composed in close consultation with a good, great poet, lover of democracy, Walt Whitman, 1819 to 1892. Today I saw a woman with her papers fallen in disarray, and though I had other business, I stopped. And having paused, I saw a woman wrapped in the raiment of ideas. I saw a man trespassing on the yard today and called him neighbor. I see him again wrapped in the rays of the sun. I see myself in the sun rays, my idea. Here is the idea I had. Democracy. A man in work clothes in the hall. Yardmen and clerks and professors. Artists and chemists and business people bustling or loafing along the concrete paths. Poets and poetry haters. Historians and work study. Phone operators and deans, all walking forwards. Do you note them all walking forward and not backward? And I call them citizen. They look back at me and we give the password primeval, the sign of democracy. So much we owe to Walt Whitman, the bard and first author of lines like these, and lines identical, for he lives and breathes, a hawk from the past in the sky of these lines. I, Ronald, you, Cynthia Bambara, you, all your names, we give the password primeval, the sign of democracy. Differing in work, differing in wage, differing in prospect and age, differing in status and self, no matter, because it is as equal to cook as to have wealth, to profess as to take math, to administer as teach class. Walt Whitman said, I give the password primeval, I give the sign of democracy. Walt Whitman said, stop this day and night with me and you shall know the origin of all poems. I think Walt would say to us, stop this season, all collected, secretaries and deans and groundsmen arrayed. Pause by, professors and adjunct professors and freshmen stayed. Sophomores, professionals, the highly paid, female students, male students, gay, transgendered in twain, directors and technicians and electricians, delayed for this one short period to consider an occasion, an idea, a vision. Just pause, read carefully, watch closely, do it again each day, and you shall know the origin of learning, know your aims and the origin of your aims and achievement of your aims. You shall know the holiness of failure, because all fail and all triumph emanates from failure. There is no imperfection in the present and can be none in the future, says Walt. Stop this season in Pennsylvania, in Maryland, in September sun. Stop on the fuming asphalt, in Somerset snows, for you will have to. And peer at our towns and the ripples in the land and at the dismal buildings that are now dark mills. For stillness in the mills is an oddity we disapprove. Stop and survey the hopeless and abandoned, the unparented and homeless, because to deny them is falsehood, and we will not have it. They thought us from their fathers and their fathers before, rising as if from land and time, claimed so little. This street, this slope, my little hope, this prospect over the towns, they are mine too. And they are. Pause and consider newcomers amidst us. Strangers? Are we not all strangers in our own land, and have not strangers origin too? I say, pause and consider the poets, which brings us again back to old Walt. He was always loafing and content to be loafing and conjuring lines about whoever came up before him. Cannock, Tuckahoe, congressmen were all the same, said he. To be a woman was as good as being a man, and to be African and Indian, brown, black, indigenous, Asian, Australian, white, Alaskan, Argentine, alike, continental, islander, at sea, all mixed, mestizo, Melungeon, mutt, all were equal, and he knew it ahead of his time. Uncle Walt, we know you, a lover of men and women. From you, from democracy, we say, all colors and forms, and our inner forms, and our sex and identification are the same. We declare it, and it is declared for us. We give the password of democracy and breathe that password primeval, for there are no artifices among us. We labor in crude offices at dawn on the lawns. We work in the dusk with light on our desk, and at night when tall lamps spill light on our labor. We labor in the halls and on carts, and we cut grass. We labor as vice presidents, as guards and librarians, wives, as custodians and teachers and tutors, technicians, electricians, visionaries, clerks, publishers, prophets. For our legacy is our energy, and our energy flows along the wires and signals in air. Our energy flows in the walls and in the space between us and within us. In such declaration, we arrive now at an interval. A new college, but an old college inside. The inauguration of a new president, but old inaugurations our guide. We celebrate ourselves for every atom of the past as good belongs to us. Every simple blackboard, every course design, every single cable, every single blind, all the syllabi and roll calls and vines and lines, all the budgets and bylaws, hallways and stairways divine, divine democracy, equality, sing. These goods belong in every union of face to face, of place to place, of time and space. We, Allegany College, 50 years old and in good health, hoping not to cease till due is done, till work is done, till surcease of grounds and mission. Today we pause. Enlightenment to one and all who want it. Equality, our goals and methods, all one.
Please remain standing, if you will. Let us pray. Eternal and ever-loving God, we thank you for this day. Bless our new president, Cynthia Bambara, her family, and this new administration. And bless us as we together step boldly into the future under her leadership. As we set forth with her from this moment, rally us around our leader. For your common good, may we, together with her, truly fulfill your college's and our college's potential. In gratitude and respecting all persons of all faiths, as one we say, Amen.
You can be seated. As a sidebar, I think this has been as much inspirational for me as it has been for Cynthia. And I hope it certainly has been for you. And I would suggest that we dedicate ourselves to a new beginning and a different beginning. And let's make Allegany College of Maryland the very, very best it can be. Certainly, I'd like to thank, and in closing, everyone who has taken part in helping with this inauguration. Truly a memorable event, and you folks can be very, very proud of what you've done. I'd like to remind that each of you, you're invited to stay for a reception just behind this auditorium at the Ardell Haynes College Center Lounge, right after this event closes. Dr. Bambara, as the 5th president of Allegany College of Maryland, would you please do us the honor in leading us out at the recessional of this inaugural ceremony, and we are finished. Thank you.